गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय यशोधानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुनतीरवनचारी यमुनतीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोधानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुनतीरवनचारी यमुनतीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्र सदस्य श्रीमद श्रीलेसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्र सदस्य श्रीमद श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय रीडिंग फ्रॉम श्रीमद् भागवतम 9th canto chapter 14. You are seeing the story of King Pururava. Text 37. Please repeat. Striyaha hi akarunaha kruraha durmarshaha priyasahasaha gnanti alpa arte api vishrabdham patim brataram api utha striyo hi akaruna krura durmarsha priya sahasaha gnantyalpartepi vishrabdham patim brataramapyuta striyo hi karuna krura durmarsha priya sahasaha gnantyalpartepi vishrabdham patim brataramapyuta striyo hi karuna krura durmarsha priya sahasaha gnantyalpartepi vishrabdham patim brataramapyuta striyo hi karuna krura durmarsha priya sahasaha gnantyalpartepi vishrabdham patim brataramapyuta striyo hi karuna krura durmarsha priya sahasaha gnantyalpartepi vishrabdham patim brataramapyuta striyo hi karuna krura durmarsha priya sahasaha gnantyalpartepi vishrabdham patim brataramapyuta. Mataji. Striyo hi karuna krura durmarsha priya sahasaha gnantyalpartepi vishrabdham patim brataramapyuta. Striyaha, women, he indeed akarunaha, merciless, kruraha, cunning, durmarshaha, intolerant, priyasahasaha, for their own pleasure they can do anything. Gnanti, they kill. Alpa arte, for a slight reason. Api, indeed. Vishrabdham, faithful. Patim, husband. Brataram, brother. Api, also. Uta, it is said. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Translation. Women as a class are merciless and cunning. They cannot tolerate even a slight offense. For their own pleasure, they can do anything irreligious, and therefore they do not fear killing even a faithful husband or brother. Purport. King Pururava was greatly attached to Urvashi, yet despite his faithfulness to her, she had left him. Now, considering that the king was wasting his rarely achieved human form of life, Urvashi frankly explained the nature of a woman. Because of, because of her nature, a woman can respond to even a slight offense from her husband by not, by not only leaving him, but even killing him if required. To say nothing of her husband, she can even kill her brother. That is a woman's nature. Therefore, in the material world, unless women are trying to be chaste and faithful to their husbands, there cannot be peace or prosperity in society. Om Jnanam Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmain Shri Guruve Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langete Girim Yatkrpatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Tapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatudam Parijana Sigitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Striyo hya karuna krura durmarsha priyasahasaha grantyalparte pi vishrabdham patim brataram apyuta. Translation. Women as a class are merciless and cunning. They cannot tolerate even a slight offense. For their own pleasure, they can do anything irreligious, and therefore they do not fear killing even a faithful husband or brother. Hare Krishna. So here we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are hearing some general description of a woman. It seems to be a controversial subject, controversial discussion here. There is nothing controversial here. Srimad Bhagavatam is a spotless Purana. There is nothing wrong in Srimad Bhagavatam. Not even a slight something wrong you can find in Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a spotless Purana, completely spotless. So we as practitioners of devotional service, as trying to be pure servants of Lord Vishnu, we accept Srimad Bhagavatam as our supreme literature. So we accept the statements of Srimad Bhagavatam directly as it is. So we should have full faith in Srimad Bhagavatam. We should never doubt Srimad Bhagavatam. Though it may seem to us in our conditioned state something to be controversial or something not palatable, but we should with full heart accept the statements of Srimad Bhagavatam. Especially we understand everything from the light of spiritual matter. Everything is very clear. Srimad Bhagavatam is a divine literature that supremely bestows us the divine vision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. So Srimad Bhagavatam is completely glorifying Lord Shri Krishna. In fact, all Vedic literatures are meant for understanding Krishna. That we see in Bhagavad Gita also. Krishna is saying, Vedaischa sarvairaham eva vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. Hari sarvatra giyate. This is what the Shastra says. All Vedic literature is simply glorifying the Supreme Lord Hari. And Krishna is saying in Gita that I am the goal of the Veda. Narayana Paraveda. Narayana is the goal of Veda, and Krishna is himself confirming in Bhagavad Gita that he is the goal of Veda and he is the composer of Veda also. So whatever statements we find in the whole Shastra, it is simply meant for understanding Krishna and surrendering to Krishna. What to speak of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the supreme literature which is exclusively glorifying the Supreme Lord Krishna. So everything is meant for as conditioned souls and also liberated souls to completely serve in a pure way the Supreme Lord Adokshaja. So we should see everything from that perspective. We should understand that we are conditioned souls caught in the cycle of material existence, being kicked by Maya life after life in a material body, suffering the three pangs of material existence. So for an outsider who is completely devoid of devotional service, something may look to be very denigrating, but for us we should understand why. In fact, we are reading everyday Srimad Bhagavatam to know the glories of Krishna and try to understand Krishna. Not that we are here to find any fault or question Srimad Bhagavatam. We are simply here to try to understand Srimad Bhagavatam and glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. So here it is, there is a statement we see how a woman as a class or it's a general description of a woman. We see that there is a verse from Bhagavad Gita, Purusha Prakritastohi Bhunkte Prakriti Jangunan Karanam Gunasangasya Sadasad Yoni Janmashu. So Krishna says that one accepts different material bodies according to the nature he has acquired. So everybody is having different nature, and because of that nature, one is acquiring a particular body. There are 8,400,000 species of life. So 8.4 million species of life are there, and every species is having a different nature. Bird has a different nature, animal has a different nature, or the amphibians has a different nature, humans have a different nature. And even among the species, there are different natures. Even among birds, there are birds who are high, like the swans, and birds who are low, as the crows. So there are different natures among different species also. And among human species also, there are 4 lakhs we see. So there are 4 lakh forms of human life also. And everybody is classified depending upon the nature one has acquired. So one is acquiring the quality of a Brahmana, then he is acquired as a Brahmana. One has the nature of a Kshatriya, he takes the position of a Kshatriya. Like that, everybody has a different nature. So similarly, women, they also have a particular nature. Here in Srimad Bhagavatam, we see that when somebody acquires the body of a woman, then what their nature will be. This is a general description. We often hear from Srila Prabhupada that when somebody gets the nature of a dog, then his nature is to bark. When somebody gets the nature of a hog, then he eats too. This is because of the body and the nature that the particular soul has acquired. This has nothing to do with the soul. A dog barking or a hog eating stool has nothing to do with the soul. This is simply the nature that particular soul has acquired, and then that soul, out of an unavoidable situation because of its propensity to lord it over material nature, it has acquired such a body. So we should understand from that perspective that, as in 2nd chapter Bhagavad Gita, we understand that we are transmigrating from body to body. We are transmitting from one body to another body. Sometimes we get a body of a highly positioned demigod, or sometimes we get the body of a very low insect or a germ or a worm in a stool. So it depends upon the particular activity that one has done in previous life. So we keep on changing body after body. And then in this perspective, and then the particular verse, this Karanam Gunasangasya Sadasat Yoni Janmashu, that one particular jiva, when it accepts the body of a woman, then it tries to exhibit the quality that we see here. That merciless, cunning, or they cannot tolerate even a slight offense. This is the nature of the particular body that the soul has acquired. This has nothing to do with the soul. Soul is by nature not merciless. Soul is by nature not cunning. Soul is by nature irreligious. It is completely pure personality. So we see that Asango hi ayam purushaha. Means your soul is in no way having any impure nature. So, in this perspective, if you see, here the description of nature that the particular jiva has acquired. If it acquires the nature of a woman, then it tries to exhibit this quality. It cannot be avoided. It's just nature, because that's what the soul has done in some previous birth, and it acquires such a body, and when it acquires such a body, it tries to exhibit such nature. But as a soul, this has nothing to bother. So if we understand that we are a transcendental personality apart from the body, we are neither a woman nor a man, nor any body that we acquire in 8 million 4 lakh forms of life, then we can understand things properly. So when somebody acquires the nature of a woman, then generally they try to exhibit such qualities. So Shastra, instead of, we see that here Sukadeva Goswami is placing such statements in Srimad Bhagavatam. So it means that one should try to know that the conditioned soul, when it acquires such a body, it is trying to exhibit such sinful nature, and one should try to avoid such nature. This is the lesson. That by nature, by acquiring such a nature, one may try to exhibit such a very bad propensity, but through the study of a Shastra, one should try to curb such propensity. That's why here we see Srila Prabhupada, he is saying that, therefore in the material world, unless women are trying to be chaste and faithful to their husbands, there cannot be peace and prosperity in society. So in order to curb such nature in a woman, to curb the nature of being merciless and cunning and always self, always thinking about the own self, then women is taught right from the childhood that she has to be chaste and faithful to the husband. This is the lesson we learn from here. So everything that Shastra points, it is a fact, and then though it may seem to be that something very denigrating, but then ultimately it is pointing towards attaining a good end. See, for example, here it may say that women as a class are merciless and cunning. Reading this, especially somebody who is a non-devotee, may come to a conclusion that Vedas are denigrating women, that they are speaking ill of women. So they may reject the Vedas. But it's not just the Vedas. In fact, it is the custom throughout the world, not only the part of Vedic culture, this Bharatavarsha, but throughout the world, such nature of a woman is seen and observed by all societies. Not only in Vedic society, but all societies could see that such nature is exhibited by a woman, and then they had their own particular rituals in their religion to curb such nature so that they can live a very peaceful and prosperous society. Nowadays, maybe this seems to be something very dangerous, because so much of communistic ideas, feministic ideas, liberal ideas, this may seem to be something very denigrating to a woman. In fact, if you analyze things properly, not that Shastra is speaking only about a woman who has such nature, but even we see that Shastra also speaks about the bad qualities of a man also. Everybody is having some bad propensity. As a conditioned soul, woman or a man, everybody is having some bad propensity. Shastra is pointing out such bad quality so that we may try to rectify us, so that we will be better situated in spiritual life. We see that even Sankaracharya, in one of his glorification of Lord Govinda in Bhaja Govindam, he speaks about the nature of a man. He says that Naristanabharanabhidesham drishtva magamohavesham. So he says that, especially he is preaching to a man, he says that, why are you so lustfully seeing the breast of a woman or the navel of a woman? Can't you see that whatever thing that you are seeing on the body is simply a transformation of a fat from the body? So here it looks like Shankaracharya is hinting the nature of a man, that he is intent on seeing such parts on the body of a woman. So one may say that even Shankaracharya, but actually nobody speaks such things. They always question that women are spoken like this in Shastra, but Shankaracharya also has spoken about a man like this, that he is speaking on a higher caste, that why you are being lusty on a body like this. But if you take the half part, it may look like he is saying like that. But this will never go as a controversy, because I still remember in my college days, there was one very famous song in the cine industry. That song actually became a super hit. That song has I'm not going to sing, but then this is the meaning of that particular verse that one can very clearly see. The meaning goes like this, that the boys in the college, they are just having some fun with the girls. So the boys are singing like this. They sing that we don't see the face of a woman. Except the face of a woman, we see every other part of a woman. It is a very famous song. If I sing, then you will come to know. But then this is a very famous song, and then it was a super hit among the both youngsters, the boy and the girl. But then nobody thought that, oh, this is denigrating a man. That a man is portrayed such a way that he is so much inclined to see other parts of the body of a woman. Nobody questioned that. Everybody just enjoyed that song. So this is just the nature of a man that Shankaracharya is pointing out, and then the nature of a woman that the Shastra is pointing out, so that a man, by knowing his tendency to enjoy the body of a woman, can be curbed to involve in better spiritual activities. And the nature of a woman is like this, so better she should live a life in such a way that she can avoid such bad existence. We see that whole Bhagavad Gita is meant for that. In fact, though in Bhagavad Gita this statement is not there, but Arjuna is worried about this only. Arjuna is thinking that, he was considering this point, that if the men who are right now assembled in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, if they are killed, then women become unprotected. And if they are unprotected, then naturally Kulakshep Nashanti Kula Dharma Sanat, means naturally the Kula Dharma that one has to do will be stopped. And then because of no protection from the man, then women will try to engage in adultery. So the whole Vedic society is pointing towards protection of women, so that nice progeny can happen, and because of nice progeny, the society can live very peaceful. The society can live a very peaceful and prosperous life. So that's the goal. If the nice progeny is there, then a very wonderful soul is fit to enter into the womb of the mother. Then the soul comes out from the womb, and then it can develop spiritual life so nicely. So why such warnings are given in the society, in the Vedic society, is that if such natures are curbed, then the population in the society will be proper. Ultimately, this is the point. See, we want everybody to be Krishna conscious, but if there is sinful tendencies there, then it is difficult to be Krishna conscious. So in order to avoid such sinful tendency, the Shastra is giving a big list that one should follow, so that such sinful tendencies can be avoided. That's the goal of the Shastra. Especially proper begetting of proper children is very much focused in Vedic society. Somebody who is not bothered about civilization, they may speak all these things. They may speak anything and everything. But as per Shastra, civilization means living a life based on obedience to religious principles. So for such thing, a nice population is needed. And for a nice population, definitely women, though they may have a general tendency to exploit, but by engaging in religious activities, they can be curbed. They can be curbed from such sinful propensities. So that's why all these things are set up. Why in Varnashrama so many rules and regulations are there? Because it's all because the sinful tendency of man, women, everything should be curbed. That's why the civilization begins when people start to follow some rules. And Varnashrama is all about rules. When somebody don't want to follow any rules, then there is animal society, bird society. There are so many other societies apart from human beings are there. So there we don't have to follow any rules. But when somebody takes up the body of a human, then they have to follow these rules. But all these things are all meant for the superior purpose of engaging in service to Krishna. So here, though we may see that there is some general description given about women like this. This is particularly of a woman who is not chaste. Only a woman who is not chaste, she is going to exhibit such merciless nature, cunning nature. If the woman is completely chaste, then definitely she is going to be fully merciful. In fact, Krishna, he in Bhagavad Gita addresses the quality of mercy as feminine. We know that the quality of mercy is always defined as a feminine part, not as a masculine part. So that is also a natural tendency of a woman. She is by nature, when she is properly engaging in religious activities, she is actually very, very merciful. So this as a class, that women description we are seeing is that this is general description regarding some women who try to be unchaste, and somebody who is properly engaging in religious activity, which even if a woman as a class may have some bad propensity by the action of this spiritual activity in their life, such natures will be completely gone. So when a woman is chaste, then definitely she is not going to exhibit any bad propensity in her life. And what to speak of devotee women? Definitely they are the supreme chaste personalities, who are all in the movement of, particularly I am speaking to for the understanding of devotees, not to the outsiders, because even if I speak for, or even not me, even if anybody, even they speak for hours and hours, still it's very difficult for non-devotees to understand. Even after saying so many things, still we may have some doubts lingering in my mind. But let us keep all the other things apart and let us focus on Srimad Bhagavatam. So let us have full faith in Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam is actually directing us towards service to Krishna. So when a devotee woman is engaging in service to Krishna, then definitely she is not going to exhibit such things that we see here. In fact, I was just, when I was singing Sri Radha Madhava, I was just thinking, in every verse of Jai Radha Madhava, in every line, there are 4 lines, in all the 4 lines we see that a woman is mentioned. Of course, they are all liberated personalities. That we see Jai Radha Madhava, Radharani, she is a woman. Gopi Jana Vallabha, gopis are women. Yashoda Nandana, Yashoda is a woman. Yamuna Tiravanachar, Yamuna is also a woman. So we see that the worst nature, when a conditioned soul accepts the body of a woman, then they may take such bad qualities. But when one continuously engages in religious activities, then they will be curbed from all the sinful propensities. And when one is engaged in pure devotional service to Krishna, then such women are really, they are to be worshipped. They are to be worshipped, and then they won't have any bad propensities that we see here. And even the Even the non-devotees, they don't have to question so much, because here we see that this particular verse is spoken by Mother Urvashi. She is a woman. So Urvashi is speaking this. Urvashi is speaking to Pururava. It's not, sometimes they say that the heart of a woman is understood by a woman only. Okay, accepting that to be true, then here we see that Urvashi is speaking. She herself is saying that this is the nature of a woman. She, being a woman, she herself is saying that this is the nature of a woman. So why Pururava? Why you should be like, you are such a great king? Why you are so much attached to the body of a woman? So this is a good instruction that Urvashi is giving to Pururava, and also giving us also through Srimad Bhagavatam, this wonderful instruction that we should not be attached to wife, to the body of a woman. Ultimately, every one of us want to be attached to Krishna, who is the real husband, and we want to be faithful to that husband, Krishna. That's our real goal. And for that, anything, it may be a wife or husband, then that seems to be so many things are there, but the point is that one should follow the supreme instruction that we should surrender to Krishna. When that thing is there, then so many other problems will be solved. So here we may see that such a description of a woman is there. Please, we should understand with care that this such sinful propensity is acquired by a soul when it acquires the body of a woman. And we are not woman or man. Let us always focus our attention that we are soul, somehow arrested in this material body. Let us try to get out of this material body. And when one acquires such material body, one will have all sorts of sinful propensities. So let us always focus on serving Krishna rather than so much about our sinful tendency that we have. But if we simply focus on serving Krishna, all our sinful tendencies will be gone. So I stop here. So any questions, comments? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.